Kids hungry, they'll tell anybody.
You want something to drink, sir?
No, I got some.
I think we got a problem. Got a problem.
Let's go. Get up. Stack club, baby. You hear that? You can't sit down to that. Okay.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy, Shigaluch, LOXD Block, Silverback. Hey, yo, right now I need to shout out the ISUPK classes.
I want to give a huge, big, humongous shout out to all the UPK schools.
Shout out to Black Watch, hosted by General Johanna. Word, I need y'all to check out Cross the Line Radio as well, man. They've been open all week from 7 to 9. They ain't shut down because of the corona, the COVID, and all that. They rockin' strong, you know what I mean?
Think we got a problem, but really it ain't though. It's one of me, and these bitches, I count about 3, 4. Think we got a problem, but homie, just all talk. He ain't gon' pop a balloon with a pitchfork. Nah. Think we got a problem in the club with this dog. Rude boys, dogs, ladies, everybody.
All right. Can you go on there real quick? Make sure you can hear me. Can you hear me? Is the mic? Good. You know how these Salagi, you hear me? All right, we're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. We start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yana. This is the Tuesday night Brotherhood class being hosted right here in Wilmington, Delaware. The location for the school here is 1232 North King Street. Again, that's 1232 North King Street. I'm Officer 5000 Matazapa, and I will be holding down tonight's class. Now, tonight's class is Brotherhood, of course. We do Brotherhood every week, Tuesday night. It's very important that we, do these classes. It might seem like it's redundant. Brothers might come in here and be like, well, we talk about brotherhood every week, but it has to be something that's ingrained in you. The same way Christianity was ingrained in us, the same way Islam was ingrained in us. Oh, and I think I was telling y'all, brothers, I was on my way to, well, first, shout out to Captain Tazariak. I give Captain Tazariak, because Captain Tazariak went and, did what he was taught to do. You know what I mean? He brought the sword back wet. He handled his business. I was not able to make it. Of course, I did see the clips that, brothers was able to put out. The little small clips. And when I'm looking at these clips, man, I'm like, these dudes is like, it's no point for them to even try to challenge us no more. Why would you even try to challenge us? This dude, remember, they was hyping him up so bad. Remember, Commander General Yohana did that, he did an interview on Sonetter, and then they was like, I don't know, General, Captain Tazariak, this might be the first time he lose, and he gonna get beat in front of you and all that. And, the General like, man, I'm rocking with my squad, pretty much, so to say. And they try to hype this dude up. Oh, he's a great orator. Oh, you beat the last dude, but this dude ain't gonna be like that. You know what I mean? This dude studied at the feet of goddamn Khalid Muhammad. Well, if he studied at the feet of Khalid Muhammad, he would know that Khalid Muhammad said that we were Israelites. Right. Khalid Muhammad acknowledged that we were Israelites. Right. You see what I'm saying? That he understood that. You cannot be an Israelite and claim to be anything else. Right. And that's what that dude was trying to do. From what I gathered, the whole African Israelite thing. Right. You're always going to fail with that doctrine. You cannot be two people. Go ahead.
So like I said, what was heavy about it? Mm-hmm. From the rip, right from the beginning.
From the get-it.
Captain Tazariak played his spiritual father, his teacher, actually saying that the Bible is the blueprint to our salvation.
Right. And that's what Khalid Muhammad said, right? Because I remember seeing that video some time ago.
Right. I was like, well, what the hell we here for?
Yeah.
What the hell we
Come
here
on,
for?
man. All these arguments that, you gotta get some new information, man. Gotta get some new information.
Right. Crazy.
That whole the Bible is the white man's book. You can't keep coming with that, man.
So like
Go
I said,
ahead.
my man, you know what else he was doing too?
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about the white man this, the white man that, and he was referring to us,
Right.
saying that we got the white man's, the so-called white man's doctrine, right? But he was coming at us with the interpretation of the Bible from the so-called
From a white man.
So like if I may say, the first thing he started out was Adam and Eve was not the only two people on the earth.
We know that.
We know that already. What the hell? He didn't do his homework. He was so cocky,
Right.
and thought he was just that nice that he could come in and just do it. But no,
See what it is these Negroes be thinking that if I'm not mistaken, he was a lawyer, he's something like that.
right.
If he's a lawyer, I will take a goddamn public defender. Give me a public defender. You understand? Give me, what was the one that was like the two youths? Vinny, remember my cousin Vinny or something like that? Give me somebody. Give me my cousin Vinny. Give me goddamn. Remember Who's Your Caddy?
Right.
Remember the brother from he was Stan. Remember Stan from Martin? He was the goddamn lawyer on Who's Your Caddy.
Right.
Give me Stan. This nigga cannot argue for me in the court of law.
He was sweating.
Right.
He was praying.
And our people think, if you come into the room and you put on African garbs and you say black power, right. Black power, but like that is not gonna rally people to your point.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? A debate is for so that people can hear both sides of the information and then make a good decision on the information is being brought out and which way we should go.
Right.
The debate was about Africa or the Bible.
Right.
So anybody that was in the room got to admit that black people should follow the Bible because he wasn't able to prove that Africa can benefit us. Us saying that we African or African Israelites or anything can benefit us. And then nigga at the end, he said, I'm an Israelite. When Cap and them put that video out, they put it out and they made it, ran it back like he said it like 2 times. He said, I'm an Israelite. I'm an Israelite. I'm sitting there like, well, what are we here for? What is the purpose of the debate if you know that you're Israelite? What is the point of you fighting for Africa?
It was a good sparring match for. It wasn't even
because Cap wasn't even like he was sparring.
Not at all. It was
niggas standing there. Cap, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, unfazed. Like Cap was, from the clips that I did see, he was just unfazed. It wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm seeing my man, he fidgeting over there. He fidgeting, he talking to this person, talking to that person. Like, sit still, man, and pay attention so that you can argue the points that I'm bringing out. I'm bringing out some points. I'm gonna need you to argue these points. Don't do like everybody does. And then as soon as you get up here, you don't refute none of the information that I bring out. You just start bringing out whatever you bring out. It's white man book, homosexuality, whatever. Come on, man. Did he mention something about King James being a homosexual?
He did, sir.
I didn't even hear it to even know.
Yeah, but Cap
y'all do know. Y'all understand. Y'all know how to easily refute that.
Right.
We got the book here. It's the Basilicon Duran, where King James wrote to his son, and he was telling his son not to be a homosexual or none of that kind of stuff like that. Right. You see what I'm saying?
And that's what Cap brought out.
Right. So it's very simple. You can't now. When you type in King James, usually a white man's picture comes up. Now that guy probably is a homosexual 9 times out of 10. Right. But when you go to Google and you say give me the real King James, picture of the real King James, it always shows you the black person. If you just say King James, it'll show you the white man. Right. But if you say the picture of the real King James, it'll show you the black person. So shout out to Cat. I already knew it was going to go that way. It's no other way that it could go. When you got the Lord on your side, there's no other way that it could go. And with this brotherhood, that we prepare, we make sure, iron sharpen iron. So, you know, Cap is preparing. You know, he's in the lab with Captain Katazar and whoever else, you know, getting the information, you know, building this stuff up, getting ready, you know, getting ready to get in the ring and just be like, you know how you remember on the cartoons where like you could just step on the dude's feet and just be like boop, 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 boop. He couldn't get away from you, just beat him up. That's sort of how Cap be having these dudes. I mean, it's like they can't even fight back. They can't fight back, can't get away, can't nothing, right? But tonight I wanted to get into a book, right? I wanted to show you know, there was different periods in time. Of course, there was plenty of periods in time that you could pick out that, you know, you could Black people displayed brotherhood towards one another. All right. You know, we had brotherhood during different times. You know, some of us had brotherhood during civil rights. Some of who stood against integration. You know, we had different times, different places, different times and period. That's my coat, man. I think it's yours. I ain't see my new one at the house. But so tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to read this book. It's called Black Wall Street. Right. And I know a lot of people know about Black Wall Street, but a lot of people don't know the particulars of Black Wall Street, like how Black Wall Street came to begin, like how it came to be Black Wall Street, how it flourished and how it ended. Right. So that's what we're going to go through tonight. We're going to talk about Black Wall Street. Of course, if any brother has a question in the room, go ahead and raise your hand. Let's get it. If you got any statements you want to make, raise your hand. Wait to be called on, of course. And if anybody has any questions in the chat, go ahead and type them in. Of course, if anybody want to chime in, y'all chime in, man. Let's get it. All right. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. We got Kadasha, Thakan, you know, Shalom. All right. We got Kanan in the building. Aaron, Itara in the building. Khalad, Desiree. Sarah, the Quinn, my man Zarai Bakar, Ratazi Young, and Shabar. Salam to everybody that's in the chat. Like I said, if y'all got any questions, let's get it. All right. But we're gonna start out with Black Wall Street. What a lot of people, you know, is okay. We all have the general knowledge of Black Wall Street being a place in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where Black people was able to go and Black people flourished, right? Black people flourished. But one thing that we're going to get into, right, is the reason why Black people went to that area. Because remember, I think Black people started going there around, you know, early 1900s, like around 1902, or it would be like the ending of the 1800s, like 1890 something towards the early 1900s. Black people started going over there towards that area. Now we know that Black people was in major cities. Black people was in all the different major cities, you know, in the North. Black people was in the major cities, of course, in the South, right? In the Midwest, of course. Like your Chicago's and all that kind of stuff like that, right? But Black people started traveling towards Oklahoma, and Black people started traveling towards Oklahoma because, for one, at this point, you could get free land, right? You could come out there. Some of the land, of course, you would have to pay for, but, you know, they was offering land to people who, you know, of course, Black people who would want to come and, you know, get a new life, and also to escape the harsh realities of racism in your city. You know, in a lot of these cities, Black, you know, we was getting lynched, you know, we was getting murdered, we was getting beat up, you know, women getting raped. You know, all that was going on in the cities, the same thing that's going on now. Right. And so what happened was they got this place, Tulsa, Oklahoma, right, which white people were there. Black Wall Street was in the Greenwood district. Black Wall Street was in the Greenwood district. And it was like a city inside of a city, because Tulsa is the city, but Greenwood was the place where, you know, Black people started to migrate. They started to open up businesses on this district. And then Black people would like, at this point, how they explain it in here is like, they had some of the most immaculate houses here, right? Y'all go sit down. They had some of the most immaculate houses, right? And so we'll just start, right? I just wanted to give you a little backdrop. This book was written by Hannibal Johnson. All right, and if I can get a brother, matter of fact, I might start with you because. Oh, Salaki, my bad. Can you read this paragraph right here, right? This paragraph right here, it got a dot next to the John. So this little paragraph, and then we'll start at this next. The one. There you go. All right, if you don't got your Passover, if you're still working on, what's that? Yeah, he unmuted. You're still working on your Passover plans, go ahead and make sure you finalize everything, man. Make sure you get that leaven out the house before you go, because we up on the trip. Make sure you get that leaven out your house. Make sure your ribs is in order. Make sure you in order. Don't be, Tazaiwan, General Hyman. I've seen brothers do classes on this. Do not get to the Passover and be made an example. You understand? Don't get in there and get thrown the hell out because you can't control yourself, A, or B, you can't control your rib or ribs. All right? All right. Got to make sure we say that multiple times, all right, before we get out there and it be just that one person that we got to deal with. All right, and it's not going to be pretty. All right, so we'll start with the title and everything, of course.
Sir.
Mm-hmm.
The title of the book is Black Wall Street by Hannibal B. Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is page 5. The first paragraph.
Uh-huh.
It says, many African Americans came to Oklahoma Territory in answer to the call of African American Oklahoma boosters.
Right. So there was a call. There was like pamphlets that was put out, and it was actually soliciting Black people to come to Oklahoma. Right. Go ahead.
The boosters viewed the Oklahoma Territory as an escape from racism and sometimes barbarism they face in their home state.
Right. So, Black people looking at Oklahoma as a chance to escape the racism that they're going through. You see what I'm saying? Ku Klux Klan coming through there, burning up every damn thing. Your everyday Christian coming through, they burning your house down. Right? They burning crosses in your yard.
Right.
They snatching you, your wife, your kids out of bed in the middle of the night. Right? And they terrorizing you because Christians are domestic terrorists. Right? I'm talking about real Christians here. Real Christians. I ain't talking about niggas. I'm talking about your real, true, died hard. What's that? Templar Knights Christians. Right? That's who these people are. And it was Black. It was attractive to go to a place like that so that you could escape everyday racism and barbarism, man.
Right.
People coming to you, barbarians coming to you, being barbarians, right? Uncivilized people. Go ahead.
Promotional literature taunting free land,
Right.
full citizenship rights,
Uh-huh.
and an escape from the racist-based discrimination proved irresistible for many.
It was irresistible. It would have been irresistible to me too. You understand? You know how we go and we pass out flyers, right?
Right.
We pass out flyers. And the flyers that we have is to raise awareness to issues that's going on in the earth.
Right.
Right? We got flyers on LGBT. We got flyers on slavery. We got flyers on who Christ died for. We got flyers on everything. Well, these brothers had put out a flyer, and they put out a flyer to attract other brothers and sisters to come to escape the racism that they was facing and the atrocities that they was facing every day. And it was attractive for Black people to come. And Black people started to come. Black people started to leave their everyday jobs. They just dropped their life and went to a place like you know how you in a third world country and they come to America because they be like, well, America is the land of opportunity. You can make your dreams come true. But this is how Black people from Chicago felt going to Oklahoma. This is how Black people from Florida felt going to Oklahoma. This is how people from Philly or whoever, that was leaving these cities and places that they were, staying in. This is how they felt going to Oklahoma.
I think he's on the wrong. Escapist.
Oh, Salakia Bertazian. I think you might be. I don't know if that was meant for the class or if you supposed to be typing that to somebody else, or pay attention to what you do. And so it started being a track. It was going to Oklahoma and getting free land.
Right.
Free land? You mean to tell me I get to come to Oklahoma? I get to come to Oklahoma and get free land?
Right.
Citizenship? And a chance to, not watch over my back. A chance to live. Sign me up. I'm there. Go ahead, Tashia.
Damn right. All Black towns emerged for several reasons.
All Black? All Black? Do we got any all Black towns now? We got towns that's all Black?
Yeah, like Atlanta.
Atlanta's all, but it's got to be white people in Atlanta, though.
Yeah, but it's like Black people are like dominant.
Yeah. So we may have a few predominantly Black towns now.
BC.
Yeah.
BC.
Mm-hmm.
But probably not all Black.
Right, not all Black, but I'm gonna need some of the predominantly Black towns and cities to start taking the page out of these brothers' book. It don't mean nothing if it's predominantly Black if we don't, do anything to control our wealth.
Right.
Go ahead.
Concert. All right. Some African Americans found security in living among their own in this foreign land called Oklahoma.
Right. Like I'm gonna get that's where you get your comfort at. From being around your people. How can you get comfort living in Rancho Cucamonga? I don't know what the hell. Give me somewhere where, a gated community where it's all white people. Right. And then you come up in there and then you got some white dude telling you got some oppressor like, what is you doing up in here? Do you live here? What house do you? What you mean? Where do I live at? Like, I'm going to tell you. Right. Like, I'm going to tell you where I live at, give you, so you could be in my house trying to murder me. Where you coming from? Who you know? Why would you? That's you will never get comfort in living around the enemy. Somehow we believe that's going to be better. That's going to be more peaceful than living in Wilmington. Going out there to Hockessin or something like that with the oppressor. And think that life is not going to be horrible up there. I'm gonna tell you why life is not so horrible in this city. Because when brothers is doing whatever they doing, half the time they leaving out the city to do it.
Right.
You ain't gonna get no money from robbing me. I think we didn't figure that out by now. That we ain't gonna get no money from robbing each other. Right. So you go out to those neighborhoods. You go out to try to get a pocketbook from one of those ladies, or rob somebody from out there because you think you're gonna get something, right? Go ahead, Dashian.
Right. All right. Concept. For others, all Black towns open windows of opportunities for self-determination in politics, in economically, Salakia, and in all other areas of society.
Right. It's good for us because it gives us a chance to focus on ourselves. It gives us a chance to do the things that we need to do to elevate our race. Right. You see what I'm saying? How the hell are we going to be integrated with the goddamn oppressor, and then he's trying to tell us how we going to integrate, right, or the steps that we need to take. Salakia. Shalom, sir. Okay. Concert. Oh yeah, concert. Can I call you right after? Come on, concert. Oh no, sweat. I got you. The water. Shalom. Forgot where I was at.
Being in the oppressor's neighborhood and being around the oppressor.
Right. Us being around each other now, we can start to get ourselves together.
Right.
Now, if it's all of us together, right, and we living around each other, now we can start to have our apprenticeship programs. You see what I'm saying? Because when you read on, you'll see we had doctors, we had people that own grocery stores, we had people that had theaters, we had electricians like Tazaiwan. Now, brothers like Tazaiwan, brothers like you that got a barbershop, brothers that live in a barbershop. So what y'all do is y'all come together, y'all have like an apprenticeship program or something, and y'all start teaching other brothers and little kids.
Right.
So now you got another generation that's going to come up and they're going to be able to fulfill your shoes. Tazaiwan is going to have an apprenticeship program. He's going to teach the young brothers electricity. So now Tulsa, our Greenwood district, now we can have more electricians should anything happen to Tazaiwan and so on and so forth.
Right.
We can do those things, right? We can focus on ourselves.
Right.
Okay. That's why it was so attractive. Go ahead. And that's why places like this are very important. Right? Go ahead.
Still, others sought refuge from hate mongers like the KKK,
Mm-hmm.
all black towns acting as escapists,
Mm-hmm.
safe haven from the reality of race in America.
Right. So some people, they would come so they can have a better life economically wise. But then some people came so that they can have a better life, like physically and mentally, so that they, don't have these the Christian oppressors beating up on them and terrorizing them, right? Salakia, go ahead.
In America,
Mm-hmm.
proved attractive for African Americans throughout the nation.
Mm-hmm. It was attractive for African Americans throughout the nation. Like everywhere, everybody wanted to go to this place. And when you read the book, you'll see they'll give like an account of like a woman who was living there or a man that was living there, like different residents that was there, and they give their name and they would tell how great it was to see black people thrive in that way. And they would give their account of why they came, and it's just good to hear and see that we can live together. It's a myth that if black people are in a room together and is, over a certain amount of time or liquor and stuff like that it's going to be a fight. We got to get away from. That's a stereotype.
Right.
That's a lie.
Okay.
Because we'll have 200-300 brothers, 400 brothers in the Passover, and there won't be no fights. That's a lie. Right. Shalom to the young brother. Will, I meant to tell you. So I got to check. If you could, I need the email address from you again. I don't know if you got my number. If you could put it in the chat, I need your email address because when I went to go send you the prayers, I had gave him my phone so he could put the address in his email address, and I believe it didn't go in right because you sent it to him.
I can send it to him.
Oh, okay, because it sent the email back to me. That's why you don't have it. So if you could put your email in the chat. What these are 3 videos at the bottom.
One video, sir.
Which one is it? That one in the middle.
The one with the woman.
Oh, okay. Most High in Christ. All right, that's if you can keep going.
Sir.
Mm-hmm.
Not all African Americans lived in all black towns.
Uh-huh.
African American landowners could be found in other communities as well.
Mm-hmm.
In the early years, some 500 African Americans owned land in oil-rich Oklahoma territory.
That's a lot, man. Did it say 500 families or 500 residents? What did it say?
It says 500 African Americans.
Okay, so at least 500 people. Imagine, that's big. 500 men and women owning property on oil-rich land.
Right.
Means you got crude oil underneath of your damn backyard. That is money. That's money. You see what I'm saying? And let me tell you something. Is it George Bush? It's some of those. It's George Bush. One of those. Some of those presidents. They all got land out there, man. In Texas,
Right.
because of how rich the ground is with oil out there.
Right.
And that oil, it made brothers and sisters rich out there too. It made brothers and sisters so rich. Let me tell you, when brothers and sisters start to become rich, when the oppressor sees that, the oppressor wants it.
Right.
He has to have it, right? And he's going to get it at any cost. So what the oppressor was doing at that time was the oppressor was trying to buy the lands from him. Buy the lands from these black people, right? And they was trying to buy the lands from these black people, but they trying to buy it below market value. They trying to buy the goddamn lands at below market value, knowing that if they can if they can get their grubby paws on the lands of these black people, that whatever amount that they pay to them will be peanuts compared to how much wealth they're going to get up out the ground, how much wealth they're going to get from the land, right? But the brothers and sisters who own the lands would not give it to them. They were smart. They're a lot smarter than what we are today. Like brothers would just be so quick to sell a goddamn house today. I remember there's a historical black neighborhood that my mom lives in, right? And when you go in that neighborhood now, it's not uncommon to see at least 4 to 5 oppressors living in the neighborhood. They should have never been allowed to get one of them houses there. They should have never been allowed to get one of them houses there. That should have been somewhere where only a Negro can live. Let's have somewhere where they not at.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They cool with you until the election time come. They dirty, dirty oppressors. The dirty ones, that's the ones that try to live around us. And they be cool with you until election time come. And then you see that even though he dirty and grungy, he still support Donald Trump. He still support Donald Trump. And that's what I was seeing in the neighborhood. I would still see Trump signs in the neighborhood, American flags in the neighborhood. The first house, like you go into the neighborhood, right? You come down the street, you got to make a right-hand turn into the neighborhood. The first house there on the left, right? It has one of them brick signs that says the name of the neighborhood. This is a historical African-American community. Built in whatever the 1980, whatever it was, the 40s. I think it was the 40s. It was around one of the world wars. Guess who got that house? The house with the historical black neighborhood. Edomite. Edomite got that house. He got that house that has the sign in it. You know what that Edomite did? That Edomite tore the damn sign down. It said historical African-American neighborhood, whatever. That Edomite tore the sign down because he didn't want that in his yard. The city still came and put the sign back. They still put the sign back. You can't take that down. But he shouldn't have even been able to. Like, he shouldn't even been nowhere near able to. Why? Because he shouldn't have been in that house. We got to learn to stop. They don't sell us their properties. Why are we so quick to sell them ours? Right, but that's neither here nor there. That's if you could keep going.
Come on, sir. These African Americans, Salakia, for a fortunate few, crude bubbled beneath the surface.
Crude, oil. Oil comes, and oil, right, is not the way you have oil in your car is not the way it is underneath of the ground. Right, it's called crude. It has to go through a process first. Right, it's called dirty oil. Right, clumpy, everything like that. It has to go through a refining process to get to the point where it looks like it could go in your car. All right, but they had this crude underneath of their houses, right? These black folks had crude underneath of their houses, right, in their land that they own. Go ahead.
Salakia, sir.
If you going to, whoever.
These African Americans, despite repeated and resistant threats from whites.
Right, they did what? They resisted repeated what?
Repeated and persistent threats from whites.
They resisted repeated and persistent threats From who?
From whites.
That's the book saying it. That ain't me. Don't shut me down. Go ahead.
Resisted all offers
They resisted all offers. Go ahead.
to part with their properties at less than market value.
Right. These brothers and sisters were staunching with they. Nah, I'm not selling my property. No, I'm not selling. You trying to? Matter of fact, and then for one, I'm not even considering it. But you even offering me the money at below market value. Like, how dumb do you think I am? They understood what they had. They understood what they were sitting on, so to say. All right, go ahead.
God. Salakia. While incremental increases in price of oil products produced more wealth for many of these landowners.
Mm-hmm.
Bitterness and racial strife increased.
So the more money that these brothers was making off this oil, it says that bitterness and strife increased. So now, because these brothers, right, and these sisters are in a place that's oil rich, and they're getting buku bucks off of this oil, and they're not selling the property, they're not budging, they're not letting the white man in. They're not letting the oppressor get his hands on anything. And they're becoming richer and richer. And then the oppressor is looking like, wait a minute. They just getting rich and they getting all the money and they hate it. And then bitterness started to set in. Right. Strife started to set in. Why? Because the enemy is envious of us. He hates us. He does not want to see you with anything. Why? Because he fears that if these brothers start to amass more money than them, then they can overtake them or wipe them out. And the oppressor doesn't want that. He doesn't want the slave to get above the slave master. Right? And the whole time, never acknowledging that maybe we just smarter than you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like you've already had 200 years, 400 years of a head start on us. They should be richer than a mug. There's no way I should be able to catch up to you. But then the minute we become free, so-called free, and then now we start to figure things out, and now we reading. Steve, now we reading. Now we letting our light shine. We got these skills. We got barbershop brothers cutting, doing it up. Electricians, bankers, doctors. We got all that. And when we start to excel, then the oppressor wants to extinguish that light. Why? Because he understands that if we had the same amount of time that he had, we would surpass him. We would surpass him. That's it. Why? Because we are a people that can survive. Like, we are people that thrive. We thrive in the worst conditions. And that's what you see right here. Go ahead.
Jealousy and envy gnawed at some prominent and vocal members of Oklahoma's white community.
It said say that one more time.
It says jealousy and envy gnawed.
Jealousy and envy gnawed at them. You know what gnawing mean? You know, a dog gnaws at a bone. You see what I'm saying? Like something that it's just constantly eating at you. It was eating at them. The jealousy, the enviousness that they have for us making money, doing better than them. Parts in the book, it said that our houses look better than theirs. Our businesses look better than theirs. Schools look better than theirs. You see what I'm saying? Because we just had a little bit of time to come together and to get ourselves right. A little bit of time to just focus on us. And look how much we amassed in that little bit of time. Go ahead. After you read that verse, that paragraph right there, then you can go to the highlighted versions of.
Mm-hmm. I got it. African Americans was welcome as servants in any part of Tulsa.
Mm-hmm. So Tulsa, okay, they welcomed you. They welcomed you to Tulsa, but you had to come to Tulsa as what? A servant. You had to be, why? Because the oppressor still can't seem to clean his own goddamn toilets. The oppressor still can't seem to clean up his own damn house. The oppressor can't seem to get up and cook their own goddamn breakfast. The oppressor can't even seem to milk their own kids. You know, we got to have our midwives, our women come in there and do that. But then the whole time they like, black, they lazy, don't want to work, just want to lay down all the time, just have sex, lewd. When everything that they was describing about us is all the characteristics that they display. All right, go ahead.
Indeed, it was common for African Americans maids to live in the so-called maid quarters.
Mm-hmm. They lived in the maid quarters. Go ahead.
Garage apartments, adjacent to the homes of their white employers.
Right. We're talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma. So in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the servants that was allowed to come to Tulsa, Oklahoma, they had to stay in like a warehouse type thing adjacent to the slave master, right? So that he could always see them. I thought slavery is over. This is the 1900s. This is like 1902 or something.
It's 1907.
When you got to stay in a slave quarter across from the person that you working for. It's crazy. Go ahead.
But the welcome mat so graciously extended to them in their servitude role disappeared when they attempted to navigate the waters of the white world.
Right. So everything was cool as long as you come and you're trying to be a servant. If you come and you're just trying to clean up, you come and you're trying to be subservient to the oppressor, that's cool. But when you come and start trying to navigate the white world, when you come and you're trying to be somebody, then it's going to be a problem. All right, go ahead.
African Americans could neither live among whites as equal nor patronize white businesses in Tulsa.
Right. So even in Tulsa, Oklahoma, you couldn't live with them and be equal. You couldn't live with them and be equal. This is American culture here. So why would it be any different when we say that the Lord created us to be above them? It's in the Bible, the very Bible that all of them Christians, the very Bible that everybody claims to read. It says that the Israelites, Negroes, are above all nations. But then when we get to a place like Tulsa, Oklahoma, it said you're not allowed to be equal. And what was that second part? Wasn't allowed to be equal.
You wasn't allowed to be live among the whites as equal, nor patronize white businesses.
Or patronize white businesses. That was a good thing.
Right.
That's a good thing.
Damn.
Why the hell would I want to come and give my money to you and you hate me? Why wouldn't I give my money to Tashiyan? Why wouldn't I give my money to Mataziala or you, Steve? You got a chicken joint. Why the hell I'm going to go across the train tracks to go give my chicken money to they'd be like Sally's or something. Sally's, right. Jane's chicken joint. Why would I go over there? That was a good thing. You know what made that not a good thing? Christianity and the messed up interpretation of the scriptures that they was reading. Why on earth would you take something that was already perfect? It was already perfect that we were separated from these people. Why would you take something so perfect and mess it all up and create an ideology of integration that's supposed to help us when it never did? Right? Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Segregation for all its particular moral and philosophical deficiencies, forced the development of an insular African American economic to cater to the need of this walled off community.
Right. So what they saying right there is because of all that, because of the racism, because of the inequality, because you couldn't go spend your money in white stores, then that created an atmosphere where you had to spend your money with black people. It was what it said, insular.
Insular, sir.
You had to spend your money with black people. That created, and it was a good thing. Because now, because I can't spend my money in a white barbershop, now I am forced to spend my money with Mataziya Allah.
Damn right.
You see what I'm saying? Now your business is going to thrive because anytime any one of us has to get a haircut, you have to go to that business.
Right.
And you know how brothers is. You know how y'all brothers is. Yeah, I know brothers that go to go to the barbershop every 2 weeks.
Right.
Some brothers go every week.
Right.
Go to the barbershop every week. Now imagine all of us, trying to keep up our appearance and now you got 100, you got the whole Tulsa, you got the whole Greenwood is going to these brothers to get haircuts. That's a good thing. That's not bad. Right. It created, because of the racism that we was being showed, it created an atmosphere where we had to spend our money. You had to buy black. Right. Go ahead.
Khan. With it, an affluent class of African Americans entrepreneurs developed. In Tulsa, this increasingly prominent African American entrepreneurs pool congregated primarily in single business districts.
Right. So because of black people not being able to spend their money in the white neighborhoods, right? Now we have to spend our money with the black stores that's being erected in Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? And because of that, it said it created an affluent class. Affluent meaning a class that has, now you got brothers that got money.
Right.
Brothers getting that bread. 1 minute you went from ashy to classy. You see what I'm saying? Ashy to classy. Like 1 minute you just got there. Next minute you rocking the finest clothes. You up. You up right now. And that's what Thashiam just read, that it created an affluent class, a class of people that has money. Right. Go ahead, Thashiam.
Beginning at the intersection of Greenwood Avenue.
So it began at the intersection of Greenwood Avenue. Go ahead.
And Archer Street.
Go ahead. That was the beginning of the Greenwood district. All right. And so we just reading the highlighted parts. Go ahead.
The legitimate enterprises in the Greenwood district had one thing in common with their less desirable counterparts. Black consumers doing business with black vendors.
Black consumers was doing business with black vendors. We don't see that now. You're starting to see a little bit more of black vendors, but it's all .coms. You know what I mean? It's all .coms. And then we can't even be mad at that. At least brothers is getting .coms.
Right.
At least we even have a place now where we can spend our money. Where brothers is, we don't need them damn Moab and Ammon to let us in no hair care business.
Right.
Brothers and sisters concocting that up in the crib.
Damn right.
Doing that right in the crib. All right, you don't want to let me get. All right, watch this. I'm gonna do it right here in the kitchen. And come to these events with these amazing oils and butters and all that. Y'all already know. We got brothers in the school making jackets. We got brothers that's making clothes now.
Right.
See? Go ahead.
Khan. In segregated Tulsa, quote unquote, buying black became more a matter of survival.
A matter of what?
A matter of survival.
It's saying that buying black is a matter of survival. How did we forget this? How did we forget this? We read the same way, remember Paul said, Get that scripture for me real quick. Romans 13 and 11. I think that's either 13 and 11 or 13 and 1. One of the The things that, and hold what you got, Mataziala. The things that was written aforetime was written for our learning, man.
Bro, 15 and 4.
15 and 4?
Con.
Oh, man,
I got it.
I'm getting senile. Go ahead.
Book of Romans, chapter 15, verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
It's written for our learning. So when we go into the Bible and we go to the Old Testament, me and Tizaiwan was talking, and you go into and you see how Rehoboam was decent, but Jeroboam, he was messed up. You follow the brother, you learn from the brother that did good, and you also learn from the brother that did bad.
Right.
You learn from David and where David messed up. You learn from Solomon and where Solomon messed up. They was written for our learning.
Damn
so
right.
that we don't make the same mistakes. But if it's a story in the book where brother didn't make no mistake and he did everything right and the brother prospered and Israel prospered, that you take that too.
Right.
Now we're reading something outside of the Bible that it was a time where we did a few things right and we can learn from that today. Right? We can learn from spending our money with us. Can learn from that, right? I mean, we definitely learned from civil rights and not being able to spend our money with us, because when this whole when was civil rights? What was that? The 60s? 60, 80 years ago. 80 years ago. 80 years ago, we stopped spending our money with each other. And look, now we trying to do it 80 years later. Now we didn't realize where we went wrong. Martin Luther King, even in that time, he realized where he went wrong, but it was too late. You didn't already set the ball in motion for all black people as a race, Negroes, to join the oppressor. Now the ball has already been started. We already moving in that direction. Now you want to put out a video and say, I feel like I integrated my people in the burning building. Nigga, it's too late.
Yeah, right.
It's too late. The damage is already done, right? And so when you look at the things that we read tonight from Tulsa, Oklahoma, when you look at this, it's not just us. It's not us just reading about Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's us reading about them, but it's also us examining their blueprint. Because there's things from this book, like how they did it, that we could take this and we can actually imply this today.
Damn right.
Right? Go ahead. Or Salaki. When you're done with the scripture, the things that was written aforetime was written for our learning, right? Also from the scriptures, but also from historical books outside of the scriptures. You have more on that, or?
Con, sir.
Go ahead.
That we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope.
Right. So through patience of the scriptures, right? Through having faith that the things that is in this book is true, we can have some comfort. We can go back to, could you read that?
Con. I don't see it frozen. I don't see it frozen, sir.
Refresh the screen. You might have to refresh the screen. We're going to get through this book, and then I got a video to show you before we get up out of here. So we reading about Tulsa, Oklahoma. All right, go ahead.
Con. It says, in segregated Tulsa, quote unquote, buying black became more a matter of survival and less a matter of choice for African Americans.
Right, it was a matter of survival and not a matter of choice. Right now, we think that it's our choice. We need to start buying black because it's a matter of our survival, man. You see what I'm saying? It's a matter of our survival. We're not going to be able to continue giving our money to the other nations the way we're doing it, and think that somehow oppression is going to stop.
Right.
Somehow our plight is going to get better. We got plenty of money. We're just giving it all away.
Right.
We're just giving it all away to the other nations.
Right.
How the hell are we going to ever do better if we keep giving our money away? No, we need to keep our money. You can spend your money and still keep your money. You can spend your money, but if you buying black, you still keeping it. is still staying in the black community. Your nation still has that money. But if I go spend this money with an Edomite, if I go and spend this money with an Arab, whoever, then that money is going out of the community. You see what I'm saying? So you can still spend money, and then the money benefit the black community. Mataziala, if you could.
Come, sir. Consequently, providers of goods and services in the Greenwood district held captive an eager market and tapped into pent-up demand.
Salaki, could you read that part one more time?
Come. Consequently, providers of goods and services
So the people who had the goods and services, go ahead.
in the Greenwood district,
Right? Tulsa, Oklahoma, go ahead.
held captive an eager market.
So they held captive an eager market, right? So you got this market, right? And this market needs to be fulfilled. There's goods that need to be fulfilled in this market that's not being fulfilled by the oppressor. Why? Because we're not trying to buy with the oppressor. So now, Tazaiwan being an electrician, yeah, you pick it up. Tazaiwan being an electrician, this brother being a barber. No, you can still give it to him. It's gonna let him get some of that too.
Come, sir.
That you're fulfilling now, Tazaiwan's electric business is fulfilling the market, fulfilling the void in the market, right? It's fulfilling the void in the market that nobody else can do. You know where you're supposed to read from, Steve? You got it?
Come, sir.
Go ahead.
And tapped into pin up demands.
Dollars. Mm-hmm.
Circulated amount the Greenwood district inviting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could just go to the highlighted spots.
Come on, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Rooming, housing, restaurants.
So in Tulsa, you had rooming houses. You had, restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
You had schools. What else they got on there?
The boulevard halls, hotels.
You got hotels. You got halls.
Smoke shops.
Right.
Shoemakers.
You got shoemakers, shoe shiners.
Barbers.
You
Hairdressers.
got the sisters in there doing it up. Go ahead.
Shoe shiners. Tailors.
You got tailors, people to, get your clothes right. To tailor, specifically fit for you. Go ahead.
Contractors.
Right. You got brothers building.
Doctors. Lawyers. Dentists. And other professional and business establishments.
Let me tell you something. We got all those same people today.
Damn right.
We got the same people today.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? We got the same exact people today. And you mean to tell me we can't do this again?
Right.
We can't do this again. Every time we have a Black Lives Matter march, Black people standing hand in hand with the oppressor.
Right.
And then making us believe that we can't somehow get to a better place in life unless it's with the oppressor. That makes no sense. How am I going to march with him against him? That is foolishness. What's that joint? I know where you're going at, Mataziala. No hand joint in hand. Right. We believe that if we hold hands with them, that somehow they're not going to meet their fate, that they're not going to be punished. They need to be punished because we shouldn't have to go through this. You see what I'm saying? We should be able to do business with other nations without it being to our detriment. But you see, we can't do, at this point in time, we couldn't do business with the other nations because they're trying to be sharks. They're trying to be predators. They're trying to give us less. They're trying to give us less for our product than what our product is worth. Right? And that's any good businessman would never allow that happen, right?
Right.
So we had shoe shiners, businessmen, doctors, lawyers, people that own grocery stores, theaters, all that. We got that now. Why the hell we can't have our own Tulsa right here in Wilmington?
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? Where we just separate our goddamn selves. Where we, you know what? Don't buy no more chicken wings from the Chinese store.
Right.
Find the one black restaurant and everybody go there.
Sir.
You know what I'm saying?
God.
You need some electricity done? I only know one. Call the one nigga that I know that can do electricity. And then maybe Tazai, why they gotta get up and work for the white man. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Get up and that's what we need to do. But we don't.
Right.
We don't. We'll rather go and take $50,000. We'll rather go take 50 bands and go buy a T-shirt in not Neiman Marcus, Gucci. Or, y'all know, them high-end places, man, where you paying for the last name of some Edomite. That's all you paying for. It's her surname.
Right.
So you can say, I'm rocking this gay man's name. That's it. I'm rocking this gay man name. That's it. Yeah. Some homosexual. Right. Some sexual deviant. That's all you're doing. It was one that killed the one. What was his name? Sergio. What was his name? Remember, it was one that was. Oh, that's him. Versace? They killed Versace. Yeah, it was Versace. I know they had killed one of them designers, and he was like a homosexual. Versace. We'll die for that.
Right.
We'll die for that. But this was a time where we had all those things. Go ahead.
The African Americans prospered in Tulsa is illustrated by homeowners in the Greenwood district. Tulsa progressed African American communities, boosted some of the city's more eloquent homes.
Right. And so you could see the success in the black people. Would it say you could see the success by looking at the things that the black people had, the homes, the businesses. And it said in this section in Greenwood, where the black people were at, right, they promoted some of the most elegant homes. Guess who's sitting on the sidelines? Mad as hell. I don't like this shit. Remember my man, I was in eating a banana. The oppressor sitting on the side eating a banana. Yeah, the oppressor sitting on the side with a perm eating a banana. Like, I don't like this shit. I don't like this. These Negroes. Look at this house and look at mine. I gotta go home to this piece of crap. And look at Steve. Steve is going to damn near half a castle, a mini mansion. They didn't like it. The oppressor didn't like it, right? Go ahead.
Keep reading our.
Only the highlighted parts. So if you're done with the highlighted part right there, just keep flipping until you see the next one.
Mary Elizabeth Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to say that last name.
That's cool. Mary Elizabeth Jones. Go ahead.
This one.
Elizabeth Jones Parish.
Parish,
and
African American woman from Rochester, New York.
So this was a lady from Rochester, New York. Oklahoma is over here. New York is up here. Go ahead.
Came to Tulsa in 1981.
Right. She came to Tulsa. She came to Tulsa in 1981, the year I was born. Go ahead.
1918, Salaki.
Salaki, what you said, 1919? 1918? Okay. So she came in 1918. That wasn't the year I was born. Go ahead.
And her noteworthy book was it?
Right. She wrote a book.
Events of the Tulsa disaster. She explained in the
magnetic allure.
The magnetic allure that the Western Hemisphere had the African Americans. Metropolis had for the African Americans in the early 1800s.
So what she's saying is that Tulsa was like a metropolis.
Right.
It was like a metropolis. It was like a big city. You know what they call metropolis is like, if I can give you an example from a movie like Batman. Remember, didn't they call that a metropolis? That's where I heard that word from. Remember Batman, they called, what was that city? Gotham? Gotham was a metropolis.
I believe so.
If I'm not mistaken. It's a movie that I heard metropolis is.
So, yeah, I think
yeah.
so.
So it was a big city. It's a big city, and it's a city that it said the allure of it was magnetic.
Right.
It had a magnetic allure. Like this city, like when you see Chicago at night, or you see, I don't know, South Street, or you see certain places where you see it, and it's like, damn, you're attracted to it. You want to move to it. Go ahead.
I heard of this town since girlhood.
Right. So she heard about it since she was a young girl. Go ahead.
And of many opportunities here to make money.
Mm-hmm.
But I came not to Tulsa as many came lured by the dreams.
Right. She didn't come like everybody, like a lot of other people came that came based on their dreams of economics. Go ahead.
Of making money and bettering themselves in financial world.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the wonders
the wonderful what?
The wonderful cooperations and exerting amongst our people.
Right. She came not because of the money. She didn't come because of her economic gain. She came from the cooperation that she's seen amongst Black people. She came because of the sisterhood and the brotherhood. That's why she came to Tulsa, Oklahoma. She came, this particular woman, some people might have came for the money, but this particular woman, the account that we given, she came not for the money, not for the prestige, but she came for the cooperation that she's seen amongst Black people. She came for the level of brotherhood and sisterhood that they had at that time. You see what I'm saying? That made that city or that town attractive. Go ahead.
And especially the harmony of spirit and actions that existed between the businesses, men and women.
Right. They were because of the harmony, the harmonious spirit. Meaning at this time, the Black people that was living in Tulsa, Oklahoma was pretty much in one spirit. Right. They was pretty much in one spirit. They was all pretty much on the same page. Right. That's why I was able to work out the way it worked out. Now, it didn't work out because the Lord wasn't involved in it, man.
Right.
They had brotherhood. Brotherhood carried them as far as it could carry them. But without the Lord, it's all going to fail.
Right.
The scriptures say, love the Lord thy God with all your heart and love thy brother as you love yourself. There's two things you got to do, man. It ain't just me loving you. I got to love the Most High too.
Right. First.
See them first. That was the first, but that's the caveat. That's the first part of it.
Oh, God.
All right. Go ahead, Steve.
On Greenwood, one could find a variety of business places, which would be a credit to any section of the town.
Right. At any point, like when you go up the Greenwood district, you could find any business. You could find any business that would be, what did it say, compliment? It says something about any part of town.
Says
that would
credit.
That would be credit to any section of the town. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be credit to any section of the town.
Go ahead.
And the residents select would
residential section.
The residential section. There were homes of beauty and splendor.
Right. So that means the businesses that were downtown, right? So as they're building up this downtown section, as they're building up the Greenwood district, now the buildings and the businesses are looking good. Like they got it looking good, but also the surrounding area where brothers and sisters are living is splendor, whatever. Right? The houses are looking good. They're immaculate. Right? Tulsa, Oklahoma, where the Black people are at, is starting to look better than the neighboring white community, right? Go ahead.
Which would please be more critical. Critical eye.
Mm-hmm.
The schools and many churches were well attended.
Right. The schools and the churches were well attended. Right now, you can't even get a Negro to go to school. Why you can't get a Negro to go to school? He going in there, he ain't learning nothing about himself.
Right.
He going in there and learning everything about the oppressor and nothing about himself.
Right.
You go in there and they teaching you everything great that a Edomite done did.
Right.
But when it come to you just fell out the damn sky and was on the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. That's it. Did they have? Hold on, I might have got that wrong. Salaki. Those was the ships that Columbus came over on. He didn't. Did he have slaves on those 3? Oh, Salaki. You fell out the sky. It was just on the slave ship, though. You know what I mean? That's our history. That's where our history starts at. In high school, in school, our history starts at you being on a slave ship. No context of where you came from, no nothing.
Right.
You just was in the middle of the Atlantic. That's it. Go ahead, Steve.
Okay. Early on, Tulsa police force was is that word? Is that word here?
What? Hold on, Salaki. Oh, yeah, you keep going. What book y'all talking about in the chat?
Desegregate.
It's not a book, sir. He said a short documentary.
Oh, okay. Make sure I get
Desegregated.
play that video.
Also, early on, Tulsa police force was desegregated. Police chiefs.
Okay, so Tulsa. So mind you, Tulsa is the whole city, right? Now Tulsa is the city. White people are in this city, but Black Wall Street is the city inside of a city. So Tulsa as a whole had a police department. Their police department eventually became desegregated, which that means nothing in the world. Desegregation just means you'll let a couple niggas in there, right? But that don't mean nothing because we're about to see it right now. Go ahead, keep reading.
Police Chief Sam Walker appointed Tulsa first African-American police officer.
So they admitted the first police officer. Go ahead. First black one. Go ahead.
Barry Cleaver. Barry Cleaver. But the chance to be the first came with strings attached.
But to be the first police officer in Tulsa, it came with strings attached.
Right.
Let's see what these strings are. Go ahead.
Chief Walker gave Cleaver a formal deputy United States Marshal in so-called what is that?
So-called Choctaw.
Yeah, Choctaw, like an Indian tribe.
Choctaw country.
Mm-hmm.
A specific charge.
He gave him a specific charge, or he gave him a specific. He gave him a specific order. Go ahead.
Your hours of duty will begin in the evening.
And this is a quote. He said, "Your hours of duty will begin in the evening." Go ahead.
And continue through the night, where things are most likely to happen there.
Right. So he said, "Nigga, you gonna work at night." He ain't even have a chance to work in the morning time, man. The Edomite said, "Look, you gonna work at night when things are more likely to happen in the black neighborhood." This is what he's telling them. Go ahead.
Your duty is to enforce the laws in the colored sections.
Your duty is to enforce the law in the colored sections. Boy, go ahead.
And you are not to arrest any white men.
And you are not, read it like that, you are not to arrest any white men. That's what that now you see why black police officers in 2022 like are compromised. The white man, that's still the same thing that the white man is telling them.
Damn right.
He's just not telling them that way.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? He's telling them that same thing, but he's telling them in actions, like or dog whistle communication.
Calm, sir.
You see what I'm saying? Same exact thing. They desegregated the police. Get one Negro in there and tell them you got to work at night. But while you there, you ain't allowed to arrest no white people. So what if they the only ones out here committing crimes? Like, because when I go through Wilmington, a lot of times I be seeing white people out there committing crimes, looking for drugs, scheming, shifty, looking for something they can steal, a car they can break in. That's what I see. But this police chief is like, nah, but okay, you could see all that, but you ain't allowed to arrest them. Just be there, and if you see Mataziala walking from his car in the middle of the night, question him, see what he's doing. He might be loitering or something. What the hell? He walking home because his wife got the car tonight. Stop him. What are you walking on that dark street for? Right? Go ahead, Steve.
Despise this limitation.
Mm-hmm.
Despite this limitation,
mm-hmm.
the appointment of Cleveland marked a significant moment in Tulsa history.
Mm-hmm.
Tulsa,
all right.
Tulsa.
So I might have to, because it's 8:30. So for time's sake, can you get go to the next one? How many? Say that. You said it's 3 minutes?
3.5 minutes.
Oh, it's 3.5 minutes? Okay, let me see that book real quick. Uh-huh.
You want one longer?
No, that's cool. I just kind of give them that to kind of recap. Let me see this book, man. So they had the Ku Klux in this book. It also talks about the Ku Klux Klan. All right, so you're going to read this on page 21, right? This got pictures. It's good too. It got pictures and everything in there from like the. All right, so read this on page 21, right? And then we'll go to page 36. We'll start right there. All right. So we're gonna read page 21. Then we're gonna go to page 36 because I want y'all to actually see how the riot started. A lot of people don't know how to throw out a Hebrew for that. A lot of people don't know how it started. How did the riot actually start? And most people think it was like whistling at a white woman or something, but it wasn't actually whistling at a white woman. All right, I'll give you the exact reason. Go ahead, Mataziala.
Khan, sir. This is page 21 in the book Black Wall Street. Indeed, Klan rosters from the era revealed a startling embrace of the organization at all levels of Tulsa society. Doctors, lawyers, judges.
They talking about the Ku Klux Klan.
Right.
They're talking about the Ku Klux Klan in the 20s. Or no, this is like this is early 1900s. But they had doctors, lawyers, who else?
Judges,
mm-hmm.
ministers,
mm-hmm.
sheriffs, investment advisors, city employees, mail carriers, oil field workers, school teachers, school principals, policemen, firemen, police commissioners,
mm-hmm.
bricklayers.
We got all these same people today.
Right.
Imagine you going to school. You don't even know that your damn teacher is a Ku Klux Klan member.
Right.
You done saved up $1,000 on your job. And you go to put your money in a 401k, and the dude that's in charge of your 401k is a KKK member.
Right.
And you wondering why every time you check your 401k, it look like it's declining.
Right.
He making bad investments. You think he gonna make the right ones?
Khan.
A financial advisor?
Right.
And somehow I'm thinking that he gonna tell me the right place to put my money,
right,
the right investment to make. From what I'm gathering, and all the history and all the history that we have between them, I would think that he's gonna make bad investments for me. He's going to tell me to put my money in here, put it in there. It's a great stock. You put your money in there and then the stock go plummet.
Mm-hmm.
They had the chief of police, the bakers, your third grade teacher was a KKK member.
Con.
Go ahead.
Bricklayers, barbers, plumbers, florists, janitors, all were represented in the Tulsa Klan.
All were represented in the Tulsa, Oklahoma KKK, right? And it's still an organization that's here today. So we would be foolish to believe anything changed. That is all some people that's in the backwoods or something like that. No, you will be a fool not to believe that your judges today, your cops today, your teachers today, your oil changers today, your bricklayers today, your everything. You know what I mean? Your bus drivers is still part of the KKK.
Right.
Right. Go ahead.
Page 36.
Mm-hmm.
Having caught the elevator, Roland headed.
Now, this is the story. Now, the story of how it all happened, right? And why Tulsa, Oklahoma, we read all the great things about Tulsa and how great it was and how much brotherhood they had, right? Tulsa, Oklahoma came to an end. It came to an end because of this right here. It was about a brother named Roland, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. And a white woman named Sarah. It's about a brother named Roland, and a white woman named Sarah. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Having caught the elevator, Roland headed for the upper floor restroom as he had done on so many previous occasions.
Right. So this brother had to he had to get on the elevator and go to a different floor to use the bathroom because they didn't have a bathroom on the floor for these brothers to use. So he had to get in the elevator, go up to a different floor just to use the bathroom. Go ahead.
According to Roland, the elevator lurched.
The elevator lurched, meaning you ever been in the elevator and the elevator make like a quick movement or something? Like it might, because I'm in the elevator all the time. So you know how it might be coming down, and as it's coming down, it kind of do like a little thing like that. And before it actually like settles on the floor.
Right.
And so when that happened, go ahead.
Causing him to lose his balance.
He lost his balance a little bit. Go ahead.
And fall against Sarah Page.
And he fell against the goddamn oppressor. Right? He fell against her. Go ahead.
A young white woman who operated the elevator in the Drexel building.
Right. Y'all know back in the day, right, they used to have elevator operators. You would get in the goddamn elevator, you would shut the door, and somebody would push the button. You would tell them what floor you're going to, and there used to be elevator operators. Even in the hospital that I work in today, they used to have elevator operators. They talk about how it used to be a black man sitting there with a goddamn little chair operating the elevator. Here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, it was a white woman. Something happened in the elevator. Brother lost his footing, ended up stepping on her. Right, go ahead.
She screamed.
She what?
She screamed.
She screamed. You know why she screamed? He was too close. Whole time she in there. She, oh, hope this nigga don't go. Hope this nigga don't do that. Hope this nigga don't do that. Oh, he did something.
Right.
Go ahead.
A clerk from the nearby Renberg store.
And this, look, they're in the elevator. A clerk from a nearby store heard it. So that if a clerk from a nearby store heard it, that means this white woman screamed at the top of her lungs. She was afraid. Go ahead.
Alarmed by Sarah's screams,
the person at the store was alarmed by this oppressive scream, right? Go ahead.
Ran to her aid.
She ran to her aid, or whoever ran to her aid. Go ahead.
Fearful for his safety, Roland fled.
And because the brother was afraid, he bounced. He dipped out. And anybody would do that. You know what the oppressor is capable of. You know what's about to happen when, okay, the person from the store came. Now, when they start to call police and things like that, the nature of the atmosphere of that time, you know something's going to happen. Niggas was getting strung up like a mug. calling brothers strange. It was strange. That's strange fruit up there.
Right.
That don't look like no apple. That don't look like no orange or no whatever the hell, coconut or whatever fruit. That's strange fruit. Brothers was getting strung up, crazy like. And they talk about it in that book how like 60 or 70 in 1 year, man. Hung up. Go ahead. But him running, I agree. I understand him running and not staying there. Go ahead.
To some, Roland's flight implied guilt.
Now, to Edomites, oh, he ran, he must be guilty. Right? What is he guilty of? Stepping on somebody's foot? Go ahead.
But to most African Americans, well aware of the fate that had befallen other African American men.
We see through the BS. Man, that dude ain't raped that girl. That dude ain't raped that girl. We know, we understood that. Go ahead, Matazi Alasalagi.
Khan. African American men accused of sexual improprieties with white women. Flight seemed reasonable and rational under the circumstances.
Flight seemed reasonable and rational. All black people knew that. Nigga, you better run. If you don't, they're going to kill you where you stand at. They're going to kill you where you stand. And if they don't kill you where you stand, they're going to grab you, lock you up, and go hang you. That's the climate of the culture of that time, right? Black people understood that it was reasonable and right for him to run. Go ahead.
Sarah Page initially accused young Roland of assault.
Now, the white woman initially accused him of assault. Assault is I come and intentionally do something to you. Boop, bop. Oh, he just assaulted me. Right? The brother accidentally stepped on the white woman. But the white woman still accused him of assault. Go ahead. Not an accident, but of assault. Assault is something that you intentionally do. Go ahead.
But quickly retreated from that accusation.
But she quickly retreated from it. Because it was whatever. Who knows why? It doesn't say why. First she said, yeah, he hit me. Oh, I screamed because he assaulted me. But then she recanted her story. And she said, no, he didn't assault me. It was an accident. Go ahead.
The damage, however, had already been done.
Damage already done. The damage was already done, Steve. That's why and that's why the oppressor has to pay. Right. The oppressor always lies. The woman who lied on Emmett Till lied and kept the story.
Right.
Kept the story as what the story was all the way up until this piece of garbage is about to die. Then they want to try to tell the truth.
60 years.
60 years. Did y'all see that little boy's face? The mom, you will never see that ever again in life. Why? Because they're going to close that casket. That mom left it open for a reason, so that you can see that. Right. Read the article. She left it open for a reason, so it can shock the hell out you. That white woman chose to tell the truth when she about to die, like all Edomites. You think that you could just, wait till you're about to die. You knocking on death's door, and then you want to try to confess everything. Right? Because you think that because of course they believe in the heaven and hell whole situation.
Right. Come.
Now you don't want to go to hell. You lived the whole life of doing things that's supposed to get you in the Christian hell. Now you want some redemption at the end.
Right.
This is what she did. She lied at first and said he assaulted her. Then she told the truth. Go ahead.
Come. In this era in American history, white women were strictly taboo for African American men.
It was taboo, meaning like it was weird to see a black man with a white woman. You see what I'm saying? It was weird to see a black man with a white woman, but then when you see a black man around white women, stuff like this happens. Right? Go ahead.
African American men have been summarily executed for so much as looking at a white woman.
Right. Up until now, niggas, you look at a white woman, you're off with your head for just looking. And then now, how did we get from that? How did we get from that to now everybody got a damn white woman?
Right. Come
Like niggas don't even see no value in the system.
Right. Come on, sir.
You know what I'm saying? With the one NFL dude, he said, "Man, look, these sisters be arguing." He said he like white women because he ain't trying to come home with all that arguing and stuff. Damn, nigga, we can't be that weak.
Come on, sir.
We can't be
right.
that weak.
Damn right.
White women are not that submissive. You think a white woman just gonna come home and just let you? Come on, what are you talking about? So she not gonna tell you to clean up after yourself, to do this, to do that, or whatever. You're not going to have no problems with the white woman.
Right.
But you're able to deal with the problems from the white woman because you view her as your God.
Right.
Right? You view her as, because God looks like her, pretty much. Jesus or whoever, look like her.
Okay.
Right? And you don't see no value in that black woman. And the black woman complaining just like the white woman complained. But it's just eats your soul that much more when the black women do it. It's foolishness, right? Was you got some more on that?
Concert last highlight section. Dick Rowland was picked up by the police on Tuesday, May 31st.
Who names their kid that anyway? Like, ain't that short for Richard? Like, why the hell they ain't pick Richard? Dick Rowland. It's like, whatever. It's like, go ahead.
On Tuesday, May 31st, 1921, booked into the city jail.
So he was booked into the city jail. Go ahead.
And questioned.
And he was questioned. Go ahead.
Summoned to the jail, Sarah Page provided a statement corroborating in all material respects Dick Rowland's account of the events that fateful day.
Right. So they called Sarah back. So they put him in the jail. They called Sarah back to the jail. They asked Sarah what happened again. Sarah corroborated what the brother Rowland has said. You feel me? She said the same thing he said.
Right.
Right. She recanted that other crap about the assault and told the truth that something happened with the elevator. He accidentally stepped on my foot. Go ahead.
Right. She admitted that her encounter with Dick Rowland had been inadvertent and innocent.
It was inadvertent and innocent. He accidentally did it. It wasn't on purpose. Salakia, go ahead.
She told officers that Rowland had come close to her on the elevator and that he had stepped on her foot.
Right. So she ended up telling the truth. Go ahead.
Of her own admission, she had panicked and overreacted.
Of her own admission. She stated that she overreacted. She overreacted because of the stereotypes that have been put on black people. Right? She overreacted because her parents taught her that black people, that if you ever, that's all a nigga want to do is just take your box from you. Watch out for them black men. They just trying to take your box. Nigga get a little closer. She and she realized that she overreacted.
Right.
When she had a chance to calm the hell down, she understood that, damn, it ain't like my parents said. He actually stepped on my shoes, on my sneaks, or my feet on accident, and I'm pretty sure the brother apologized. That's how brothers are. Oh, I'm sorry, man. You know how niggas is.
Right.
And she realized that. She realized that everything that she taught was big. Look, say that one more time.
Come, sir. Of her own admission, she had panicked and Salaki. She told officers that Rowland had come close to her on the elevator and that he had stepped on her foot.
Right. She panicked. Right. Go ahead.
Of her own admission, she had panicked and overreacted.
Right. She panicked and overreacted. At that moment, that white woman understood that the black man that was in the elevator with her wasn't everything that her parents taught her at that dinner table. He wasn't. Because if he was, she wouldn't have came in there and told the damn truth. She wouldn't have came in there and recanted her story. Go ahead.
Paige told officers that she slapped Roland.
She did what?
That she slapped Roland.
She did what?
That she slapped Roland.
She slapped it. Man, look, let me tell you something, man. The brother accidentally stepped on her feet and she slapped him.
Right.
That slap is coming from a place of hatred.
Mm-hmm.
If you in the elevator, Mataziala, and I feel the elevator do something, and then a second later you accidentally step on my foot, I'm not gonna slap the hell out you. I'm not gonna Chris Rock you.
Right.
Not gonna Will Smith you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna look and wait for the apology, of course, like, you know, or look and just assess and see what happened. She slapped him.
Right.
That slap came from a place of hatred. Slakia, go ahead.
Come. At which time he grabbed her arm to prevent her from slapping him again.
Hey, Steve, you slap me, I'm gonna grab you. Look, grab you too. I'm gonna grab you to prevent you from slapping me again. And you're lucky if I don't turn you upside down and shake all the damn change out your pocket. You know what I'm saying? Lucky if I don't do more than that. But
Right.
he physically restrained her from assaulting him.
Right.
Go ahead.
She screamed.
Mm-hmm.
He fled.
She screamed. He fled. All right. There's one more. Can I? So that's the gist of what happened. Right, and I think let me see that real quick, Matazio. I think the page is. I think I bent the page. This is the last conclusion part. It should be like a bent page somewhere. Yeah, that, and then I'm gonna get this video, and then we gonna get up out of here. All right, so
Page 146.
Mm-hmm.
Integration, or more accurately, desegregation, achieved only after hard-fought civil rights battles, had unintended negative economic consequences.
Right. So at this point in time, Black people wasn't Black people wasn't integrated. So this is like kind of going up a little bit more into the integration part. And it's talking about how integration had a negative impact on Black people. This book is just simply saying everything that I should, like, we could say the same thing. We could talk about civil rights, Martin Luther King and everything. And Black people think that we just haters. We just haters. Not knowing that the same thing that we say. Look, I just picked this book up. I had that book for about 2 years. And I kind of skimmed through, the beginning parts, but I kind of started reading it a little bit earlier this morning. And you can see that these books are saying the same thing that we say, man. Right. I didn't read the book first and then come to my conclusion that, you know what I mean, we need to separate from white people, or civil rights or integration was horrible. The book is telling you this.
Right.
Separate from me, separate from the school, right? It said integration had a negative effect on Black people. Go ahead.
One of the rights that African Americans fought for and attained, the right to spend their dollars in the greater Tulsa community rather than solely in the Greenwood district.
Ain't that what we say? Niggas fought to spend your money with the oppressor and not with your brother. Read on.
Proved a hollow victory indeed.
It was a what?
A hollow victory indeed.
Is that HALLOW or HO?
HOLLOW.
Yeah, let's look. You could. It's two different hollows.
Right.
It's hollow, HOLLOW, and hallow, like HALLOW. It was hollow.
Right.
It was a hollow victory, a vain victory. The victory of integration meant nothing. Absolutely nothing. It didn't mean nothing for the Black community. Didn't uplift us in any way, push us forward in any way, or teach us anything in any way. It did nothing for the Black community. Right? Go ahead.
Quote unquote integration turned out to be a one-way street. Black dollars flowed out.
It was a one-way street. This is integration right here. A one-way street. Black dollars going out. Go ahead.
But white dollars did not contemporaneously flow in.
But no other dollars coming into our community. Our dollars is flowing out to theirs and none flowing into ours. You know how many dollars flow out to that Chinese store? $10,000 a week.
Right.
You know how much of Chinese dollars is flowing back into the black community? You know how many that corner store and all that stuff that's in them damn corner stores.
Damn right.
Fund all our money going to them damn Arabs. How much money coming from the Arabs? So this is something that history teaches us. Integration was horrible. Separation was the key. When the brothers were separated, they prospered. Integration, where's Tulsa at now? It's still a Tulsa, right? I'm pretty sure it's still a city right today. It ain't as historical as it used to be, right?
Right.
I'm pretty sure it ain't nothing going. Tulsa probably a crack town full of crackheads. That's probably what Tulsa is right now. I'm pretty sure Tulsa is a town full of crackheads. Go ahead.
Additional stresses from enhanced competition.
Mm-hmm. Now you got the stress from enhanced competition. Before we integrated, I didn't have to worry about these white businesses. I knew all black people was going to come to me. Now we integrated. Now, nigga, you allowed to go into Woolworth. Mm-hmm. You want to take your damn dollars to Woolworth.
Right.
Instead of coming here. You know what I'm saying? Because this is just how we are. Now we got the option to go to Versace. Now you don't want to go to Fat Farm.
Right.
You got a choice with Balenciaga. Now you don't want the goddamn Sean John.
Right.
And Sean John and Fat Farm and Sean John and Fat Farm is in what's that store? Farm and Mills. Like, goddamn.
Right.
Like it's just trash or something, man.
Okay.
Why ain't Fat Farm up there with Balenciaga?
Right.
Why ain't it up there? I can go and get me some Fat Farm for $3. But I'm gonna get some cheap pants that I can fit because it's hard for me. Like I'm 30. I'm in the 38 range, but my length is long. Mm-hmm. It's hard for me to get certain pants.
Right.
It's hard for me to get certain stuff. That stuff, like I can't. I wish I could get the Balenciaga and the Versace and the Foreman Mills, but I can't. I can't. They almost make it seem like our brand is nothing.
Right.
Like our brand is nothing. It's cheap. It means nothing. But these other brands is everything. When they all made it the same damn place, is Versace made in Italy or something, or is it made in? I mean, let me ask the Balenciaga man. Let me ask Mr. Balenciaga. Is that stuff made? Okay, is it made in Italy or is it made in Taiwan like everything in the hell else?
It's made in Italy, sir.
It is made in Italy.
Got on concert.
All right, so it might have. Yeah, but it might. Okay. Okay, I got another question. Is there really a difference in the materials being used? Or are you made to believe that there's a difference in the materials being used?
I mean, it could be the second. We could be made to believe it, but it feels like it is.
It feels like it is?
Kind of on concert.
I heard that. That's what Witchcom said. What's that one dude? Lil Uzi Vert. They said, Lil Uzi Vert, you got this shirt on that thing, $2,000. That thing look crazy. He said, they ain't never put on a $2,000 shirt yet. Like the way it feel like.
Right.
Damn thing feel, man, look like a shirt a woman would wear. But anyway, you got any more on that?
Concept.
Okay, go ahead.
Fluctuating economic conditions and changing demographics made it virtually impossible for Black businesses to survive without successfully reaching out to the entire community.
Right. So at this point now that Tulsa is becoming integrated or whatever, now it's hard for Black people to make any money. You know, it's hard for these businesses to thrive. Go ahead.
That did not happen.
Mm-hmm.
The Greenwood district declined.
Mm-hmm.
The welcome demise of segregation ultimately doomed the economic and cultural vitality of the Greenwood district.
God damn, please. It said the welcome integration. The welcomed integration did what?
The welcome demise of segregation.
The welcome demise of segregation. Right? Go ahead.
Ultimately doomed the economic
Go ahead.
and cultural vitality.
It doomed economic and cultural vitality. If we don't have a culture, who are we? We don't have our own culture. We are forced to pick up the culture of someone else.
Right.
Right.
Integration, according to the book, doomed our cultural, our culture and economics.
Damn right. Right.
So now our money is gone and our culture is gone.
Right.
Shit. Now you got select for my language. Now you got Japanese dudes look.
Sir.
Yeah, because we don't want our culture gone. Now somebody else pick up the culture. Now you got the Jabberwockies.
Right.
Y'all know about the Jabberwockies. Jabberwockies. You got people like that, right? Because they take your culture. They appropriate your culture because you give it up. All right. I don't have time to show the video. Not gonna waste my time showing the video. Y'all brothers, if you need any more on Tulsa, Oklahoma, of course, there's plenty of videos on YouTube.
Right.
You know, I kind of ran up all the way up to my time. So with that being said, we don't have any more questions or statements. I'd like to pass the class over to Precinct Officer Mataziala. Select the one. I'm gonna leave this down.
Okay. ISUPK security announcements. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to learn and share themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if your brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, they are to seek counsel from the heads. Ties, which is a commandment. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10, means 10th in Hebrew, Ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Priest funds, free will offering for the priest. It's not mandatory. So whatever amount you would like to donate. Upcoming holy convocations. I just told you about the Passover, which is next week, April 15th in Cocoa Beach, Florida. Prepare yourself properly if you're traveling to the Passover for the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which is the following day. Make sure your house is free of leaven. Make sure your house has no leaven in your house. Because when you come back from the Passover, we will be in the midst of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. All right? If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. But with that being said, Men of Israel, Majah. Men of Israel, Majah Shabbat. Majah, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakadam. Yazmatah, sorrows means to turn to sisters. Men of Israel, sisters, Majah, Salaki. Men of Israel, Majah Shabbat. Majah, Barak. Yahweh Shema Atam B'Hashem Yahushua.
Yahweh Shema Atam B'Hashem Yahushua.
Yazmatah, class dismissed.